This is Dr. Madhu Kamra from Durga Mahavidyalaya, Raipur, with a video lecture on morphology. Before I begin, let me tell you that morphology came into existence as a term applicable to the realm of linguistics sometimes around 19th century. Before that, the word was primarily used for the study of the structure of plants within the body of biology. The currency of this word in the realm of linguistics owes its life to Goethe, the German playwright, whose name is associated widely with Faust. Now, let me tell you about the structure of the word morphology. Morphology is made up of two words. Morph, which means form, and ology implies the study of. So, morphology is the study of the forms of words. Now, morphology can be classified under two divisions. You have derivational morphology and you have inflectional morphology. But before I tell you the difference between the two, let me tell you what exactly is a morpheme. Morpheme is a simplest unit, meaningful in nature, that represents a word. Morpheme is not further divisible, so it is indivisible. Let us take an example. In the word playful, you have two elements, play and full. Thereby, you can say that the word is made up of two morphemes. But in a word like plays, where you have the base word play plus the suffix s, here you find play is a complete word because it can stand by its own as a complete meaningful unit. But this is not the case with the suffix s. But when added to play, it does make some meaning. So in the case of plays or playful, you find that the complete meaning unit is called free morpheme, and those which are added as suffixes or prefixes, they are called bound morphemes. It should also be remembered that a morpheme is not always represented by same morphs. Now the question arises, what are morphs? A morph is a phonetic representation, or you can say that it is an orthographical representation. For example, if you take the word bats, which is the plural of bat, the sound that you hear for the plural form is s. But if you take the word like dogs, you find that the s sound changes into z because of the neighboring sounds. Likewise, boxes, the plural es can be heard as iz, is. So these are the morphs of the single morpheme s. Now let us talk about the structure of a morpheme. Whenever you have a single meaningful unit, you say that this is a root morpheme. But if it is surrounded or adjoined by a prefix or a suffix, in that case, the central morpheme is the root one, and the adjoining ones are peripheral morphemes, or they are called modifiers. It should also be remembered that the central morpheme or the head morpheme or the root morpheme is also called lexical morpheme. But these suffixes and the prefixes, which are peripheral morphemes, are also called formative ones. So students, coming to the branches of morphology, you find that it is divided into two branches. One is called lexical or the derivational one, and the other is inflectional. Now your lexical or derivational morphology is further divided into class changing and class maintaining. First we look into class changing and class maintaining. In the case of class changing, you find that the root word and the word which is derived, they are of different grammatical categories. For example, if you take the word mother, and you derive the word motherly out of it, you find that there is a change in the grammatical category. But if you take the verb like do and you add re to it as a prefix, thereby you have the resultant word as redo. In the case of this, there is no change in the grammatical category. The word is a verb and the newly derived word is also a verb. Hence, it is an example of class maintaining morphology. The other example could be filmdom, kingdom, or boredom, where you find that a noun, which is the base word, gives us new words which are also of the noun category. But if you take the word approval or betrayal, here you will find that a verb is a root word out of which noun approval is created, and in the case of betray, you have the word betrayal, which is a noun. If you take the word personal derived out of person, or tribal derived from tribe, or occasional derived from occasion, you have nouns giving new words which are adjective in nature. Now let us see what is the difference between inflectional morphology and derivational morphology. Inflectional morphology is a study of how words change their form to indicate number, person, tense, etc. Whereas derivational morphology is the study of how morphemes are combined to form new words. Let us see what are some more differences between the two classes. Inflectional class of morphology is limited only to closed word classes. Closed word classes are also called minor word classes, whereas derivational is open to open word classes, which are also called content class, lexical class, major class, or open class. So, in a set of words like speak, speaks, speaking, spoken, you have an example of inflectional morphology where you find that grammatical additions are made in the form of inflections in order to make word functional for various grammatical reasons. But in a word like singer, you find er is added to the base word, that is sing, in order to make a new word. Inflectional suffixes thereby are of 7 types. The first is the plural suffix. When you add a suffix in order to make a morpheme function for the plural number. For example, bat becomes bats, cat becomes cats. The second is genitive or possessive suffix. When, in order to make a possessive case, you add an apostrophe s, whereby Rohan becomes Rohans, John becomes Johns. Third is the third person singular number present tense, whereby you find run becomes runs or play becomes plays. Next is the past tense suffix, whereby play becomes played and drive becomes drove. Then you have the present participle, whereby word like run becomes running, play becomes playing. And next is the past participle, whereby you have write changing into written, drive changing as driven. And the last of the 7 types is the comparative and the superlative suffixes, whereby clever becomes cleverer or cleverest, nice becomes nicer or nicest. This completes your morphology. Thank you for paying attention to me.